Hello and welcome. We're going to meet the teams. We're interviewing Screech Bob Ombs. We'll be going over the pronunciation a little bit later on. Joining me today, I've got Vegas, Callum, and taking time away from Zoolander 3, Baron von Fabulous.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello guys, so we're just going to start a game and we'll get through to some questions. And you've answered one just off stream, but we'll circle back straight to it. How did you come up with your name, and tell us a bit about the team?
The name, I think, I just was going through Keyforge cards and naming all of them that sounded like they could be a name. And then I think we eventually got to Screech Bomb, or the Screech Bombs.
Yeah, it was kind of like there was a lot of just kind of like, no, that's bad. No, like that can't be a card. Could this work? No, this won't work. And then eventually we were like, oh yes, this could be the thing. But we all like puns. Well, I like puns.
The Baron likes puns. The Tower Vegas does not like puns at all.
I am neutral on puns.
Do you find them a bit punishing?
Oh boy. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those days.
I've got my dad joke license. I got it 3 years ago when my son was born, so I'm good. Yeah, we see quite a lot of teams just take inspiration from card names. You've got Not Finished With Your Mum, you've got London Urchins, Archimedes, Steel City Snufflegators. Next season, we've got my team has gone with Hypno Keyfrogs, and I've already decided on next season I'm going to try and find some guys to join the Sloppy Lap Work.
Oh. I know, I like puns, but innuendo, I'm just like, I don't know. It's just like there's something innocent and fun about a pun, but in innuendo, I'm just like, oh dear.
PG puns only.
Yeah.
We are a PG-13 team.
So, how did you guys get into Keyforge? What brought you to the game? Have you played any card games like this in the past?
So I played a little bit of Magic back when I was a teenager, but that's quite a while ago now. And then I was intrigued by Keyforge because I felt like I could actually get into it without there being a huge disadvantage between people who've already played a bunch and me, because it was pretty new, and the deck building, I was like, oh, I can just buy some decks and see how that goes. At the beginning, I was like, oh, that means I won't have to spend as much, and that didn't work out in the end, but I guess it's theoretically true.
Yeah, I mean, I like Callum. I played a bit of Magic. I played a bit of Yu-Gi-Oh when I was a kid, and I'm also into like board games and for my sins, things like Warhammer. And then I think Callum mentioned that Keyforge was a thing in one of our D&D chat, because we also all play D&D together. And I was like, okay, this seems cool. I will buy a pair of decks, and I bought a pair of decks and proceeded to lose pretty much all of the games I first played.
Yeah, and I got Lark into it by essentially tricking you when you came to visit me.
Yeah, so I played some Hearthstone, and kind of like I was mildly into it, and then just kind of got a bit bored by the fact that you had to like either spend lots of money or play constantly. And then I visited Callum in the Netherlands, and he was like, we should play this game, and I didn't have anywhere else to go or anything else to do, so I had to.
That's not true. We played Keyforge when our third friend who was there was getting ready.
Yeah, it's true.
We did actually do stuff.
But yeah, and then I really enjoyed how, like, again, it was just kind of, you could theoretically buy one deck and, just keep using that one deck. And I think it helped that the one deck I got was quite good. So it was a nice one. I was like, oh, I'm actually quite good at this and enjoying this because I can do things. This is nice.
Yeah. That's just it. Unlike Magic, Keyforge, or any other TCG, Keyforge is it's a DCG. It's a deck card game. You can't change your deck. You're just stuck with what you've got, and the first impressions matter. Most of the players that stick around start off with a good impression. We'll go through this one at a time, and we'll start with Vegas because he's got no Discord image, so we're going to punish him first. what's your favorite set and what's your least favorite set?
So, I think my favorite set, even though it has definitely incredibly overpowered at times, is probably Worlds Collide. Some of that is because my best deck is a Worlds Collide deck, so I'm probably slightly more favorably inclined to it. In terms of like my worst, I think Airway would be the easy answer, but it's probably not Airway for me. I think actually my least favorite set is Kota, which is
Ooh.
probably a bit of a rogue take. But so like for me, the thing that's always in my mind is how fun is a set to play or to play against, and it feels to me maybe because they hadn't sorted all the balance back at the start that Kota is sometimes the least fun set to play against.
Yeah.
And
So you're looking at it based on a sealed event. If I went to a sealed event, which one would I dread the most? Then Kota would probably be high for everybody there because you either open a diamond or you open a piece of coal.
yeah, I mean that's true for Airway as well, but I think it's more true for Kota than it is for Airway.
This is not going well.
And yeah, I'm enjoying
That is a
enjoying
huge bonds presence, yeah.
I messed up my ordering there. I mean, the question, I forged 2 keys before he did anything. Now the question is, can I somehow scrape to a third? And I think maybe is probably the answer.
Well, not to distract you or anything, but favourite set and least favourite set, Callum?
I think Mass Mutation is my favorite set. I'm very into the new set. And I think my least favorite, in a very unsurprising take, is AOA.
Fair enough. And any particular reason why AOA, or just because it's the fashionable one to hate?
Not just it's the fashionable one. It's just the sort of games it can lead to so many times is like just you have 2 boards, like grinding it out. No one can really do anything. It's just sort of who is better able to fight for the board. As you can see from what's happening.
I'm sorry, I thought you were describing AOA. That sounds like Worlds Collide.
Worlds Collide, I don't mind as much because the stuff on the board does more things. That makes sense.
There's more impactful cards.
Yeah, so like rather than just reaping 6 times, you'll take actions that have impacts and can do fun things. Whereas, so I'm just thinking, a restaurant going to disappear. So I'm thinking, whereas AOA, there's much more just reaping that can happen. There is a non-zero chance I get locked out here, which is going to be embarrassing to happen on stream.
And the Baron?
My favourite set is Worlds Collide, but it's like similar to Tuck said, some of my better decks came from Worlds Collide. My least favourite set is Kota. I just find Kota, like, a lot of the time you just get games where the board doesn't really matter and you just kind of sit there and all your stuff dies and you're just like, oh, okay. And they're going to make a bunch of Ember and there's not much I can do about it. It feels like in the rest of the sets, they kind of like got a lot more of the interactivity and were like, okay, we're going to make this now where you can actually do things. And yeah, I think that's why I'm
it makes sense. There's a lot of games in Kota where your opponent will be on 0 Ember, you'll be on check, and they'll just go untamed, and you're like, okay, I lose. But yeah,
Worlds Collide, I think, is where they start to swing towards like boards being important, and you being able to do stuff with the board. And I'm a big fan of having, as you can see, a very large board with a vast array of things to do with said board. So
yeah, and this is a classic matchup that me and the Baron have played many times. That doesn't normally go my way because I don't have the tools to deal with these large boards.
Yeah, I was discussing this with someone in the Kota admin group. It's because after Kota, they sort of slowly went less towards stealing Amber and more towards losing and increasing key costs, making it more about what you've got on the board, what your opponent has to pay for a key, rather than just taking the Amber away from your opponent and forging yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, this deck needs a Coward's End. If it had a Coward's End, it'd be much better, let's put it that way. But I'm doing okay. Say that. Let's see.
I mean, I do think it's quite ironic, Baron, that you said Kota was your least favourite set. And I know for a fact that your favourite deck is the one you're playing right now.
Yeah, this is also the deck that I have a tattoo of the house symbols of as well.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just because your favourite deck's in the set doesn't mean you like the deck, the set.
It's also like not a very typical Kota deck as well. Like a lot of what I do in this is like fight stuff and capture stuff.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, like it's. I think it's more that this isn't very representative of Kota than anything else.
And as we can
But
see, it's got a huge board.
it does indeed have a large board that I like to use a lot.
Let's go a little bit deeper into your Keyforge likes. Do you have any favorite cards? Any card that has particular sentimental value, or a card that you'll open and seal and go, "This is a good deck because it has this card"?
Not the latter, but I'm very attached to Bad Penny, as it does sort of what I really like about Keyforge, which it generates all these different decks, and you get cards which are rubbish in some decks but really good in others.
You'll get a Bad Penny with no sort of utilization, and then you'll get a Bad Penny with Pawn, Sacrifice, Relentless Whisper, Seeker Needle, all this utilization.
Yep, as is in this very deck, which is why I like it. Okay, what do I do here? Double loners.
Right. Concede immediately.
I'm not going to concede
Accept
immediately.
defeat.
I mean, I'm probably going to lose, but I need to get that off the board, I think.
So it's quite amusing for me to watch this, having seen this, like Callum and Baron play so many times. I think I must have seen Muscle Cars play at least 100 times now.
Yeah, I've played it a lot. I've played this deck on TCO 1,000 times.
Yeah,
because it's really fun and I get bored easily.
And it's got a Khalifi Dragon, and that's always fun to get down.
The Khalifi Dragon is very fun if you can get that going. It doesn't come out much, but when it does, it wins games usually.
Well, Vegas, your favorite card or most sentimental card?
So I have like when you talked about cards that in like sealed, you'd be like, yes, this is the card that I want. I have that, which for me is probably Cincinnati Rex, because it's just an incredible amount of utility in a single card, and also because it's my favorite deck has one. It's always a card that when I look at it, I'm just like, are you sure you printed this right? Are you sure you didn't mean to say each other friendly creature, not each other friendly cards?
I got a Golden Spiral and a Rex. Well.
Oh, nicely done.
I did it. I scraped over the line.
I was looking for doorstep and it just
I
wouldn't
know.
come up.
I could feel
I don't
it.
know where it's been. It's not been here whole game. I think I don't know. You just started it.
I just assumed you had. I mean, I guess.
I can't think where it would have gone.
You must have. Hold on.
I can't. Well, I would have played it just.
It's not in the discard. Is it still in the
I guess
deck?
you're just not. You haven't gone all the way through the deck.
No.
I know I've been through the deck already. Like I don't know. I just don't know where. I didn't play it really early. Maybe.
Yeah, you did play it really early.
I played it really. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I assumed that was coming to you, honest. I'd given up hope. That was
Yeah. I was waiting.
Yeah,
I was Pandemonium either. I was like Pandemonium that could save me, but no, nothing.
It's fine. The streamed one is a rare victory in this matchup for Muscle Cards. Normally it reaches this point, and I've lost.
And it's immortalized on stream.
Yes,
exactly.
Thus proving forever that it's the better deck.
Sure, I'll let you have it.
I do not want
favorite cards is a really tough one. It's like there's so many that are like circumstantially really good. Like, I've got a deck where like Lollet with Titanic is my favorite card, so I can do nut stuff with it. Like in this, I've done stupid stuff with library access because I drew 26 cards against Callum a few weeks ago in the first turn, and it was great. But like, I don't know, it's hard. I like Numk with the Fair. I think was my first favorite card. It was like my first deck, and it was just like you could have like someone have a massive board against you, and then you just put it down and just be like, and all your stuff is dead, and I can choose what dies, and it's great. So yeah, I think Numk with the Fair still holds a place in my heart. It's the first ever favorite card.
It's only got better as well.
Yeah, it gets some good value, especially with more sack outlets and other cards. That makes a lot of sense. And it's a nice range of different cards with different abilities.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Keyforge Online team event section of the interview. How did you hear about Quixote?
I think it was me who first
It was, yeah.
came up with it. Because we used to do debating together in university and used to like compete at that. And I think like we all played Keyforge together, but obviously because of lockdown, we couldn't do any competitions or like vault tours. And I was like, oh, this will be something to like scratch that itch. And then I suggested it to them, and they initially said,
let me know when I
"We
can
don't-"
join.
Yeah, sorry.
They initially said we don't want to do that, and I was like, no, come on, it'll be fun. And they still said we don't want to do that, and I was like, come on, it will be really fun, I promise. And then they eventually relented when I badgered them enough.
You can join that now. Now that Callum's in.
Sorry,
It says game full. You've allowed spectators, right?
Yeah.
It was also we looked at it like last one because it was the 200 SAS cap. We looked at it as a bit more accessible, and we weren't just going to get like stomped every round by like crazy ass 80 SAS decks that we don't really have, and we'd actually have a chance, which we did. We did all right.
Yeah, we went 3-3. I'm pretty happy with that.
That's really good. And yeah, when talking back through teams, the ones where we make people have to dig through their decks, like caps, like house lock ones, is one that people seem to really enjoy more because they're not playing their best decks. They're forced to get a little bit more strategic.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
But that helps us move to this one. Well, you guys have literally just joined for the skill cap, so the question is meant to be, what was your favourite Cote format? But the one that brought you in was skill cap, is SAS cap, so I imagine it's SAS.
Yeah, SAS cap I think is probably the variant in general of online Keyforge that I personally enjoy the most. I mean, it's probably fair to say we all have some very good decks.
Yeah.
None of us have, I mean, maybe that's what, we all have decks that are pretty solid, but we don't really have decks that can sort of like hold up with, say, I don't know, when you're playing against Manchester Mavericks A and you're Sasha, which is my next mount up coach.
We've both beaten Sasha once.
Once.
I think it feels like we have very good decks, but not very, very good decks.
Yeah,
that's like a distinction.
That is fair.
That's a punctuated equilibrium.
Yes, it is.
Well, shit. That's actually quite a much more interesting hand, but possibly not the one I wanted. As we'll see in a second.
So you've got some good, consistent decks, but you haven't got anything that's insanity and would be like, boom, I'm taking this to GC or VT straight away.
Yeah, a lot of some of the mass mutation ones I have that feeling, but it hasn't quite held up.
I've got a couple that are like up there that I think like I could do well with, but there's nothing that like I look at and just go, yes, this will be like, this is, unless I fuck up badly, this will get me to a final. It's more decks I'm like, if I play really well and like kind of get some like good draws and like get some like good opponents, I could get to a final. But I've not got decks where I'm just like, yeah, like this could get me to a final easily. Like this is the deck that's going to be like a cut above everything else.
Oh, and how are you enjoying the regional aspect of Cote this time?
I think it's cool, but I kind of enjoyed of the last one. Like we got a real mix of opponents last time, so I think we got like a Hungarian team, an Austrian team, an Australian team, Americans. Like we were like all over the world, which was quite cool and fun. Like playing against like different people.
Yeah.
Although they just moaned about the time difference constantly. We have to play Australians. It's going to be so hard. And I was just like, guys, it's not that difficult. Like we ran a D&D game with people in Singapore, Canada, and here. We can do this.
You say that like that wasn't a 3-hour window was the only time of the day when we were awake. Oh, this is going to be.
3 hours is a long time. I don't know what you're complaining about.
Oh boy, this is not good.
Well, as long as you do well with the top cut that we're doing now, you'll still be able to play. But once the group stage is over, teams will carry on playing. But then it opens up to multinational.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
but
you get to the finals first.
Yeah.
No, you don't even have to get to finals. So say you finish fourth in your group, you'll then be put into a sort of top cut with all the other teams that finished fourth on there.
Cool.
And then you'll also be grouped with some of the teams that finish second and finish third based on their qualifier. We're going to try and get, basically, we've realised that when the top cut happens, a lot of teams have nothing to do. So we're going to we're creating divisional top cuts based on where you finish in your groups, so more teams play for longer.
Oh, that's really cool. Awesome.
Yeah, Tuck, I had the ability to kill that Valjerico until I lost at the punctuation equilibrium.
Ooh.
And now the deck is going to go bananas, I think, in a way that's going to be very difficult to deal
Yeah, I
with.
mean, I obviously we're streaming this so people can see that this deck is there's a lot of fun inter-house synergies.
It really
it's
is.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I think the good thing about Co as well has been that it's kind of got us into like the competitive Keyforge game a lot more too. At least I feel like it has. Like I think before we were all a bit scared that we'd just get like wrecked every week and it'd be really unfun. But it's kind of proved that we're like maybe better than we thought we were, and we kind of start doing other stuff like the Keyforge Premier League and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's been a good stepping stone towards getting out of the casual mindset into a more competitive mindset.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'm quite looking forward to the Sanctimonious tournament, Glorious You, and I've enjoyed all the Keyforge Premier League stuff. So it's been a good introduction to that sort of competitive online Keyforge.
Oh, definitely. When I was speaking to Repat, they were saying that basically the amount of online events, thanks to COVID and lockdown, has dramatically increased. There's so much high-end gameplay available to people. It can help people grow dramatically.
Yeah,
in
it's
their gameplay.
cool. We also just get a sense that we're playing against some of the best people in the world, and you play like KPL stuff. Even though we didn't make it anywhere near the top cut, or I didn't. It was kind of cool.
Oh well, it happens. You'll see that some of Voltar winners, Voltar finalists, and Voltar top will sometimes get into the bottom end of the tables in KPL because it's players that are serious about the game. It's players that want to get into that next level of gameplay, and that's what Jupiter and the guys over at KPL are trying to do. Big promotion for KPL there.
Yeah, I mean, not what we were discussing, but I mean,
no, it's absolutely fine. Jupiter is a long-time supporter of Coach, and he's a close personal friend, and I really do support and hope that this works out for him.
And I talked to him, and our check, guys, is in the post, so we'll be receiving that endorsement money.
Tell us what you really think about him. Give us the exclusive. What beef is there between Code and KPL?
There's literally none.
Are they crossed that you've got something to begin with K first? Tell us the scoop.
What to do here? This is bad.
So,
Things are not
speaking
going
of
well.
Coat, and as people have literally just joined and it's sort of awoken this competitive beast within you, what would you like to see in the future of Coat?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, I really like Reversal, but no one else does. So I'd like to see some competitive Reversal. Like, it's a format that I never get to play competitively because whenever I suggest it, like my LGS, people are like, "Oh, you don't like Reversal." And whenever we do it in like the UK Keyforge League, it's always just a case of, "Oh, we'll do like 70 SAS Reversal."
Yeah,
sort of
like
thing.
high-end Reversal.
Yeah, which I'm just like, it's fun, but I want to just play like my really terrible deck and see if anyone has like decks that are more terrible. It was like a kind of quite fun kind of like just I want to find the worst.
Reversal is a good test of skill because you're playing with the worst decks against the worst decks, so it is generally down to whoever draws better and plays better wins, and it can be a good test of skill in that aspect. I don't think Reversal is something that we'll do in the future, but knowing Chris, it's probably something that he has got in the back of his mind.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily seem like a format that a team event would work for, to be honest. But I agree with Baron. I always enjoy Reversal. I mean, I'd love to see an adaptive sort of regional league. I love adaptive as a format. And
well, you could always speak to Kate and Archimedes, who do the UK league, and see if they wanted to do an adaptive league as well.
I think we're chatting about it, aren't we? Doing like
we are chatting.
Well, it might be something that we do down the line as part of like a 1 of 3. So we have like something I could talk to Chris and the other admins about. We like having one player who plays Reversal, one player who plays adaptive short, and one player who plays Archon.
Yeah,
that'd be cool actually.
I think that'd be fascinating. So one of the things I quite liked about the last one, quite like about this one is the way that you're pairing us up against different sets, because it's been a really interesting like view of what different sets do. Like obviously some things that we already knew. Like I already knew that dinos in MM were insane.
Yeah.
I didn't need
Shocking news.
to show me that. But more interestingly, things like seeing what people take for AOA, which is obviously traditionally such a marginalized set, as it were. It's really interesting to see what people have brought, other than when it's Joker.
Yeah, we saw that 1 in 8 have brought Genka. There's a fair few Drummernauts out there, including myself. It's good to see. I mean, I went up in last round. I went up against an 84 triple Ludo 6 Sin deck, and I almost pulled it off. If my Chota had come a turn later, that I'd have had enough to forge.
Yeah, I mean, I'm running the airway in ours, and I'm running the lesser spotted Lollanaut, as I call it, which is Lolla the Titanic and Drummernaught.
I have that as well. I'm Bramo.
I don't have a Bramo.
Oh,
but
Bramo.
I do have 2 Gauntlets of Command, which help a lot. And yeah,
mine doesn't have Gauntlet Command, but it does have 2 Dust Witches.
Oh, that's nice. That's cool.
Anyway, we're getting off topic with that one. But no, see, you basically for the future, you want us to keep up with the interesting formats. I mean, this format is one we did when Worlds Collide first came out, and because it had all 3 sets. And this time we went, we'll go back to the 3 set one, but we'll ban Kota because basically Kota is. You see so much Kota in events. It'd be good to ban that and see what else comes out of the work, and also knowing you're not going to come across any Kota, what kind of decks people would play, because you're not going to see as much rush.
I think you know what you're getting with Kota at this point, because the set's been out so long, and like the only decks that people kind of still play from Kota tend to either be like Fast Untamed or like really disruptive Shadows and Dis.
Or super lockout logos.
Yeah, exactly. And so you kind of just get the same decks because all the other Kota decks no one's really playing anymore, because like anything that's like so the deck I was playing, I love, and I still love it as a deck. It's like my favorite deck, but it's so hard to play it against like Mass Mutation and Worlds Collide, because the highest power thing in it is 6 power. And all of a sudden, like all the Saurians are so much bigger than it that it just becomes like there's like whole swathes of decks that it's terrible against.
But you also get that on the other side, that when Kota came out, say you got a deck with 3, I can't remember his goddamn name now, the Trolls. You get a deck with 3 Trolls and 2 free Fates. And you're like, oh, this deck's unplayable. And now you look at Mass Mutation, you're like, oh, cool. This deck's actually really good now.
That's very true.
8 power is not what it used to be.
It's like what we were saying about Numquid the Fair. Numquid the Fair is suddenly a much better card because you can just go get rid of all of their wards and then start killing things. Whereas
I'm really enjoying how that works in terms of stats, like stuff that you just didn't care about at all. Suddenly becomes super amazing. No! Oh,
yeah, it's like muscle cards that Callum was playing. Like Khaleesi Dragon is suddenly a lot easier to play because there's a lot more things that increase key cost rather than like direct Ember control.
And not just key cost, it's moved into a more capture-based meta rather than steal. So your big Brobnar boys are going to get the Amber back from your creatures, and suddenly 7 is not that hard to achieve.
No. Also, do you know what the worst bit is about that Keyfrog victory, Tug? I was just about to Nightforge next turn. I'm pretty sure I could get it. And I never got to pull the giant Mars turn because your creatures were all too small.
But Callum, you do only have 1 key.
That's true. So
I'm actually real pleased with that. That's only the second time I've ever pulled off a Keyfrog win.
Could have sworn I had 2 keys. Oh well. I can't. I'm not with the talking and the.
This is why I wanted to do it over games, because it leads to interesting games where you get a few more misplays.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well, here's a nice interesting question for you. So, do you have any rituals or superstitions about when you're playing the game? For example, myself, if you see me at a Prime or a VT, I will always be using my 3 Egyptian god cards as keys, because to me that brings me good luck.
Safe as hell.
I get that response a lot when they go, "Oh yeah, the colours do work."
I have a really stupid ritual, mainly because wherever Keyforge tournaments are being played is generally really hot. Where I think it was before Vault Tour, we did like a kind of like a store championship or a monthly or something, and I came straight from work where I had to go to work in a suit, and I came in and just like dominated every game and won the whole thing, and was like, oh well, it clearly must be that the suit is going to give me luck. So I decided to go to Vault Tour in a suit, and then I've decided to go to all subsequent competitive things in a suit, which seemed like a great idea because it'd be funny, and then it just turns out I was just really hot all day. It's very uncomfortable.
But again, that can kind of lead into it because they say you make your best decisions when you're when you need to pee because you're uncomfortable and you want to get it over and done with so you can go to the bathroom. So if you're hot and uncomfortable in the suit, you want to get the game over and done with as quickly as possible, so making the more streamlined, efficient decisions to end the game because you want to get to a more cool environment.
Yeah.
There might actually be a bit of psychology into that.
There might be.
Coming off the back of that, so I didn't get to go to the one Vault Tour we've had in the UK because of some unfortunate circumstances. But whenever I go to something like a store champ or a prime, or when we went to, well, not so much a store champ, but a prime or something like UK GC that me and the band went to, a hangover I've had from my days at university, when, as Callum said, we all used to do debating together. I always go and make sure to get a Greg's before the first round. Like, it's always a Greg's.
And how did that work at the GC? Because I didn't see any Gregs nearby.
Well, I had to modify it. I couldn't get a Greg's. I could get a pastry. So I always have pastry. I always have an orange juice, and I'll always have a cigarette before the first round.
Ban Keyforge events in the South.
Don't ban Keyforge events in the South because I already killed my local meta being too competitive. I don't need any more events near me going down.
I think another tradition that we have actually that Tuck just reminded me of is because Tuck couldn't go to the first Vault Tour, we ended up getting him. I ended up getting him metal keys at his Vault Tour. And then Callum lives in the Netherlands, so he couldn't come to Grand Championship. So Tuck
this is I never posted it. I never posted the gift.
Did you not? Oh, you fuck! Wow.
You can now blame all your GC losses on that not being said.
I could have done so well if it wasn't for this talk.
I can't believe you, Tuck. That was gonna be a really nice story about how lovely we are as a team. You ruined it with your selfishness.
I am always
selfishness, just my forgetfulness.
Fair enough. I'm always
Son of a bitch.
I'm always recreating the same weird things I did during the debating tournaments. Like at the Dutch Grand Championship, I went and bought a copy of The Economist because I used to read it a bunch during debating when it was useful. And I was like, no, I just need something to do between rounds. What do I do between rounds and tournaments? I sit and read The Economist like an asshole.
I just won the round 3 keys to 0. Now I'm going to check my stocks.
Yes, I am a man of business.
A man of culture.
Sat there in a suit reading The Economist between rounds.
I hope you suit up for our Coke Games lock, by the way, now.
I do not actually. Well, because I know I probably should, yeah, I'll start doing it, don't worry.
Oh, double code monkey lock. Oh,
yeah, you know what this deck does. You've seen this before.
You said you wanted Dumb Worlds Collide. Dumb Worlds Collide was brought.
I just don't think you're allowed to complain either, Tuck.
Yeah, I know what your deck does too. I've seen what makes you cheer.
So tell us about throughout the interview. You have mentioned it a couple of times, but tell us about your favorite decks.
So mine is Water Alien, Andres, Alfred, Infiltrator.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it's the only deck called Water Alien as well in the whole of Keyforge, which I always think is quite cool. So it's like the 4th deck I got, and it was kind of really competitive during especially during Kota, because it kind of it has a really neat trick it does where you can play when you're playing library access. It's got phase shift and hysteria and a time traveler. So you just play down all your logos, hysteria everything back, and then play it all down again and keep drawing.
Yeah.
It also does stuff like you can play Restringentus and you can just like lock people out. It's got Pandemonium and Doorstep to Heaven to stop people forging. It just like does a bunch of really annoying stuff that makes people sad, and that's how I play. So yeah.
And that's that's really good if you're drawing loads of cards, because if you're going for your library access turn, you get a load of amber, and you go, oh, my opponent's playing Doorstep, phase shift, Restoring Gun to Shadows, lol.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, we were playing in the UK Keyforge thing, and I was against Callum, and I'm really glad I was against Callum, because against anyone else I would have got. But I played it, and I drew 26 cards in turn 1.
Oh,
it was so good.
And then obviously, like turn 2, he plays like Wrestling Gruntus, Embrym, and Control the Weak. And I was like, well, like maybe had a half a chance before this, but now it's definitely gone.
Do I have a board wipe in my hand? I do not. Well, no. This is going to be a slow game.
Yeah, the deck did not either. Board wipes and me don't have a good history.
They really don't.
So many of my best competitive decks don't have a good board wipe in them. Like we saw muscle cars in the first one.
But as we were talking about earlier, as the sets move more towards board presence, board clears become more important as well.
Yeah, so like that deck that I played in the first game was again super good before Worlds Collide, and it's now taking a big hit. It's still decent, but the lack of a board wipe is crushing.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Baron, Vegas, any favorite decks you want to talk about?
I mean, my probable favorite deck is the one that I'm currently playing on stream now, which is Aurora Rainhill Minstrel. And I won't lie, I love it because Cincinnati Rex and Golden Spiral is a brutal combo that will probably never have been printed.
I think you've played this against me a couple. I think I remember like your name. I think I've played against you a couple of times, and every time I'll get like 2 keys and close to the third, and then you'll drop Spiral and Cincinnati Rex, and then there's nothing you can do.
100% never should have been printed.
Yeah, or at least it should have been like creatures rather than
everything.
Like, yeah, that's the
real
problem.
I've lost quite. So I go in and out of liking this deck. Sometimes I really love it, and this like today's one of those days where I'm feeling like it's quite nice. But it's got a lot of things in it that are very fun. It's also got the possibility to do incredibly stupid mistakes. So I admit this, in the Keyforge Premier League, I was 3-1 at the time, and I was like, yeah, if I win this game, I'm going to have a solid chance of qualifying. And I was up against Kate, T Archimedes, and I was like, I looked through her deck, and I was like, there's no Shoutstorm, not Shoutstorm, whatever the Mars thing is. No, it's Shoutstorm. It's gone. There's no TMTP. I'll just go burst with Rex for a shit ton of amber. And I missed that there was an intentional draft in the deck.
Oh,
so good.
Oh no, you don't want that. Yeah. But just looking at the list, you've got double candle unit, Edai, Machano. You've got some really nice stuff in there. I do like Chemo Eclipse and Ronnie, because you just stick Ronnie in the end, and then you Chemo it back into deck, and deal with that again later.
Yeah. This current game, I think, is probably going to go the Baron's way, but
once the double Igor double Code Monkey thing starts whistling along, it just becomes
it's a fun little combo.
Especially when you got a hide and Valum down.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of cards.
They tend to get archived a lot. To be fair, it tends to just be like 2 Ember from the Code Monkey is just good.
What's quite entertaining is that I lost a bunch to Lark's decks, including this one. And then I think it's fair to say, Mass Mutation, out of the 3 of us, I've got the best pulls.
Yeah.
By like a pretty solid margin.
Yeah, by a large margin, yeah.
So I have decks that can beat this now. It comes around.
It does come around.
Baron, your favourite deck?
I'd say mine, as I said earlier, was Water Alien.
Oh, yeah.
The I got a tattoo off, but I think this is also up there. It's like very much my play style of like get a big board out and make the other person sad by killing all their things. I sadly had to discard it with an Igor, but my usual play is City State Interest and Axiom of Risk is something I do a lot, which makes everyone sad because all my stuff's alive and all their stuff's dead. It's great. But yeah, I think that's my bit. Like another one is the one I'm playing in which is Christensen, and that's the one it's got 2 Gauntlet commands, 2 Lollop Titanics, and 2 Drummernauts. So what I tend to do is just use Lollop to kill everything, then play a Drummernaut to bring it back, play it again, use Gauntlet of Command to kill more things, play another Drummernaut, keep bringing it back until all their stuff's dead and my stuff's on the board being nice and alive, which is always good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that sounds like because it's an 11-power creature. I think if 2-piece cards were meant to be a thing before AOA, then Lollop being a location in its trait should have been a 2-piece.
I love the location. It's so great.
Yeah, I just love it because when you harvest time and you go location to get rid of artifacts, people often forget Lollop is also a location, so you can get extra amber.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love Lollop. He's so much fun.
I'm running very short on the questions now. Do you have anything that motivates you? Do you have like if you've been having a bad time, if you've been playing games and you've just been on a loss streak? Do you have anything that you do to sort of snap out of it, get yourself back into the game?
I mean, I talk to Lark, because he's usually the positive one, to my like overly negative sensibilities is our normal dynamic.
Yeah, I'm usually the one there going to tell them, no, you haven't lost yet. Don't give up. You can't give. Yeah, you've still like you've had 2 turns, and yes, they've got 5 ember, but you can't give up in the second turn. Stop it now.
Like you can see some of the chat logs we have during some of the code games. And it's just me like, oh no, this is bad. This isn't going well. Oh no, maybe I can bring this back. Or this could go back. Okay, I win.
So what you're saying is next round, I need to watch your games and stream that and get them ready for stream, just so I can see the chat log of you guys going, oh no, oh.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty accurate. We're very much a team that's like, yes, this is going well. It's going well. Oh no, it's not going well at all. It's not going well at all.
Yeah, like I think it was one of T. Margaritas said like the general vibe of us during the KPL things has just been like constant swearing because I was like, oh.
It's like, oh no, it's all
so
gone wrong,
what you're truly saying is, like a true anime protagonist, you rely on the power of friendship to win.
Yes, that's 100%. That's our official line.
Yes.
I mean, so there's a bit of joke in this there, but I do think that like it does help that we're all very close friends, and we're friends before we did anything like Keyforge, because I think Lark really,
yes, really.
Because I think it's very easy at times to get beat down by games and to feel like nothing you do works or matters, and I think that the fact that we're all friends really helps that. Also, I'm sorry about what's about to happen.
I assume it's about to be some Sinister Rex. Like, yeah,
you're not sorry at all.
Sorry at all. I don't believe you.
But no, yeah, that's one of the best things about gaming, and that's one of the things that is the best bit is the social aspect. If you've got people to chat with, if you've got friends you can play with, even if you're not playing together at the time, if you've got someone you can just talk to, it makes the game infinitely better because you've got people that understand what you're going through and can help you have a laugh and play as well.
How infinite is Tuck about to go here? Because this,
I'm going to say about 6, maybe.
I think you can get to above 20 here.
Yeah.
Fight will lead just wrapped into Gargantuan.
No,
ready.
Don't tell him. I knew he was going to do it. Let's hope he forget that. Like he'd forget and he'd be like, oh, "That's £60. That's too big to fight. I can't fight that."
How Gargantuan works, Lark.
Just drops that Maverick Shadow of Dis on the Gargantuan and goes, "Ha! 16 to the face."
But the thing is, so he can't fight another thing with his Legatus Raptor. So
So I just have to reap with the raptor, which is very sad.
Yeah, exactly. So he can't go too infinite, but he's still going to go pretty infinite because he's about to golden
I mean,
spiral. This is
Yeah, he
correct.
can punch Gargantuan on again with the.
It's got the wards as well. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can always concede, Lark.
No. Because if
Make
I
it-
concede, then that means Callum gets permission to concede at other points. Tell him not to.
Fairness,
the
I never
meta
fully
gaming.
concede.
The,
I never
the,
fully concede. I just internally and to you in a monologue could despair.
Yeah, and then I have to be like, no, Callum, it's fine. You can do it. I believe in you. Fucking, why am I doing this?
I love the
"No, fuck
internal
you,
meta
you're
gaming
done."
of if I concede here, I'm giving him permission to concede further down the line.
I think the only time you've accepted that it was okay for you to concede was when you drew 26 cards in one turn, and even then, I still finished that game.
Well, I think that's the example of it. I'm just like, well, even then, you shouldn't have conceded. How you fucked up with 19 Ember Tuck. Oh, wow. God, I wish I fucked up.
Are
with
you
that more
counting the
often.
4 on Strix in that number?
No, I'm not. I feel like that might be inconsequential. I don't know.
Yeah, you did fuck up. You did fuck up a bit there.
Hazardous.
It's fine.
Couldn't you have still just gone and got it?
Pompous
Okay, now-
keeping alive.
Yeah. Now the drama. Can Lark stop him?
No. Obviously not. What are you talking about? He has 19 Ember.
And
I mean,
4
yeah.
on Strix, so even if he
But I'm
did have
just-
some kind of.
There's a card in the archives. I'm just adding suspense for the viewers.
Fine, I'll
But
just
we
go
can
and
see
make
the
a
hands.
raptor to be salty about it.
But we can see the hands, so we also know. Good game, guys. Oh.
All right, Tuck
Oh,
wins.
dear.
Tuck wins.
No, it's since Sinister's Rex one of my since Sinister's Rex one of my least favorite cards because it just bothers me that it's so it's one of those little things where you just look at it, it's like, why was it artifacts? Why couldn't it just be creatures?
I remember the moment. It was like before they'd sorted it on TCO. I told Tuck that it was in fact also artifacts. There was a moment where it was like, oh God, why? It's dumb enough to begin with.
Alright, so I'm pretty much done with my questions. There were some great games, guys. Have you got any final words? Anything you want to say to upcoming opponents, or just
a brief thing I will say is that I do normally count how many keys I have. That was an unusual aberration in playing that second game. I am a competent Keyforge player.
Yeah. I want to make it clear I normally beat Callum. I just let him win.
No,
I embarrass him.
I mean, actions speak louder than words here.
Yeah, I do normally lose that matchup with Barrington.
You know, he's the captain now, so he has to show strength and solidarity, and therefore I can't undermine him. That's the reason I'm going with him, sticking to it.
Okay. Sure, yeah.
So he's the Kirk and you're the Spock. He gets all the credit, but you do all the hard work.
No, I'm the Bones, I think. No one's watched Star Trek, it's just I know he has funnier catchphrases.
His catchphrase is just, I can't do it. I'm
a doctor.
I'm a doctor. I'm not an X.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great catchphrase.
That is a solid catchphrase, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I prefer, I'm giving it all she's got, Captain. Because you can probably put much that into anything.
Yeah, but I feel like because Bones has got more sass to him, that's what I value here. That he's sassing the captain.
It's like, you need to forge your third key. I'm giving it all she's got, Captain.
Yeah, I could see that happening, to be fair.
Yeah. No lasting messages from me though, I think.
Oh, but there is one thing we did not discuss, which I said we should. Chris's utter slaughtering of your team name.
Yeah.
Actually doing a meet the team in the first place.
Yeah, the whole reason you guys jumped on and that touched you in.
Is he doing it deliberately? He must know by now. I've tried very hard to correct him.
Well, it's like phonetic as well. Like it's not like Jargoggle, which we all pronounce differently. It's like spelled out quite clearly, and it's also like from Mario, which is very popular, and from Scott Pilgrim, which is also pretty popular.
And every time he's on the stream and he says it wrong, you tell him how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Screech
I've become
Bob
more insistent
Bombs.
about it. week has gone by. It's become
Yeah.
a personal crusade.
It's like we,
Screech Bob Omb.
yeah,
Screech
it's like
Bob
we
Omb.
wanted to get to like a final and get on a stream just so you could like insist on it when we're being introduced by commentary. You'd be like, right,
This
finally.
Right,
This is how it's gonna
Chris,
go.
this is how you do it. Say it with me.
Screech Bob Omb.
Screech Bob Omb.
Is Chris the only person that doesn't get it? Have you spoken to other people and they're like, yeah, no, I get it.
Oh no, we
Yeah.
discussed it in the UK Keyforge group, and everyone else is equally baffled.
Yeah, everyone else gets it instantly, and also then recognizes it from Scott Pilgrim.
It might also be the fact that you spelt it Bob Omb.
Because that's how you spell.
That's how you say it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it says it is Bob Omb.
Bob Omb.
Bob
Bob
Omb. Yeah.
Bob Omb.
Just gotta run through it. Bob Omb.
Yeah.
Bob Omb.
Bob Omb. Yeah.
Screech Bob Omb.
Screech
Yeah,
Bob
we're
Omb.
here to forge keys and make you feel sad about stuff.
Ah,
That is. That's Lark's motto.
It is. Yeah.
we're here to forge keys and make you feel bad about stuff, and we've run out of keys, so I hate your face.
I play decks that let people have fun. Lark does the opposite of this.
I do. Yeah.
By your own admission.
Oh,
I've often been called the anti-fun police by
See-
myself and my team.
so as the anti-fun police, do you agree that there should have been an impossible deck that had the graft artifact and a control the weak?
Yes.
Ugh.
I'm the only. I won a prime
Disgusting.
with a deck with 3 control the weeks, and one of the
Oh.
games consisted of me drawing all 3 in my opening hand
Oh,
and just playing control the week one turn after another
in the
because I knew they couldn't do anything.
in
and I
the
felt
Bristol
so mean.
in the Bristol Prime, Oscar from Team Exalted, who's one of the younger players, in the round 6 game, turn 1 went hunting witch, Mamook.
Oh,
And I went, check. I was like, well, what do I do there?
yes.
And it was his dad he was taking on at the time. It was beautiful to watch.
That's an opening hand.
No, it's like restrained just locking people, fun. Control the weak locking people, fun. It's all great fun.
You're the sort of person that looks at Dave's 5 Edai deck that just goes, yeah, your keys cost 126, and goes, oh, that's the kind of deck I want.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Why wouldn't you want that?
Disgusting. Why are we friends?
I just like having stuff on the board. Like I like having a board pretty art and turn them all sideways and turn them all not sideways anymore, and it's nice. And you're like, yes, these are all beautiful things to have in front of me. Callum just likes to have nothing there and then just play loads things straight into his discard pile.
So you're saying you'd have just as much fun if your opponent just went away. It's like-
well, a little bit.
I'm going to start my Golden Spiral Rex turn. It's like, I'm going to go bar, get a drink. I'll be back in about 5-10 minutes. Just
That's what happened when Chuck missed the graph.
Yeah, Kate went and made a cup of tea and then came back and was like, you know what you missed? And I was like, oh no.
So yeah, Callum has a Quixelstone deck that he's been enjoying recently, and I think that says all you need to know about him.
Quixelstone is... I hate Quixelstone so much.
I hate it as well. When I play that deck, I
Ah.
hate myself, but it's quite good, so I feel like it works. But I feel bad about it.
You're supposed to destroy the Quixelstone, not join it.
What? Because then you play a game and it's like, oh, well, I won, but I kind of prevented you from enjoying this game, so I feel a bit bad.
It might be just because I don't have a Quixelstone deck. It's like if I get one and I'm actually the one controlling the flow of creatures, then yeah,
Why?
maybe.
Well, I dismissed it for ages because it was the last deck that I bought just before Mass Mutation came out. So I didn't really play it much because I was just basically playing new stuff. And then I picked it up again recently and I played a couple of games. I was like, oh no, this is quite good. It's got like
I've got a
bunch of-
Mass Mutation deck with 3 Q-Mechs and 4 Subtle Autos, and the 2 cards I hate to see are Auto Encoder and Quixelstone. It's got 25 creatures in that deck.
Yeah, I had a guy concede after about 3 turns. We were just like, you're gonna win and I'm gonna have a horrible time.
Yeah, it was when I played against you, and I like my deck has loads of creature synergies. It's great, and I was like, okay, I've got Tachyon Pulse. He plays Quixelstone, it'll be okay. He plays Quixelstone turn 1, and I was like, okay, I'll try and get Tachyon Pulse, it'll be fine. He uses Born Its Touch and purges Tachyon Pulse immediately, and I was like, fuck this shit.
It was the quickest Born Its Touch ever.
You might like my new product, the Rage Table, which is something I'm working on it. And basically, it's got low SAS Keyforge decks attached to the table with string underneath. Then you flip it, and then when you put it back up right, the weights pull the cards back onto the table.
Oh, I love that.
Table flip.
Right, so I'll let you guys get off. I'm gonna do. I've got an interview with the Portuguese Generosity team in a second. But it's been
Alright.
it's been amazing having you guys here, and I'll speak to Chris about getting your games recorded next round because I think that'll be quite interesting to see.
Oh no.
Wait, this round or next round? Okay.
Next round. This round's already started.
All right.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank God.
No.
We're not liking our odds for this
Right,
week.
who-
Yeah,
who-
we've done
who-
practice.
Who have you
This
got this time?
round, I've got George from the Manchester Mavericks, but we've done a couple
Oh.
of practices, and it's not good.
The Mavericks are one hell of a team, and they
They're
give it their all.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
they're
going to
very
give away what he needs to do to win, but we've worked out something that he needs to do to win, and it's not that hard to do.
I think
Uh,
we'll
uh,
leave it there with our impending doom.
yes.
I'm gonna be pressing after the interview to find out what they used to do to win, but
All right.
yeah,
Fair enough.
it'll be quite interesting to see. I'm originally from the Manchester area, but I moved down south. But yeah, Fanboy 3 used to be like a place I used to go for Magic and stuff. But yeah, it's a really nice community, really great guys, and I went up there for the Star Championship and had a hell of a time. So best
Oh, yeah,
luck.
they're all lovely. We're just gonna lose.
Yeah, they're
horribly.
lovely people. Yeah, we're just boned, very boned.
No, believe in yourself. You've got the power of friendship
Yes,
You have the power of friendship.
it's true.
and Mario bombs.
And Mario bombs.
But we do not have the power of Sasha compact rocketry delegate.
You just need a deck that's got like 6 eaten jars. Get rid of Grunt Buggy. Get rid of Master Generosity.
Are we just gonna become the Yu-Gi-Oh antagonists that always cheat?
I would love to see how you cheat on an online game.
I don't know.
Oh no, you just turn on manual mode, forge all 3. I'm reliably informed. That's
Manual mode /forge /forge.
yeah.
I think that in that situation, Matt Photoshop screen prints that and sends it to us going, yeah, they cheated.
Probably yes. Anyway, we best get on.
Yeah, but good night, guys.
Thanks
Best
everyone.
luck and best luck in the round. Show those
Yeah,
Mavericks
alright.
what for.
We'll do our best.
Alright.
Well done.